Hello. We have a 1942 Harley Davidson EL model, which is 61 cubic inch. It's on loan to the museum from Pat Maroney. Basically, we're going to go through it point by point to see how authentic it is for 1942. So when we go through it, we'll see it. Each piece has different points or different values as far as how authentic. Obviously, the major portion or the major pieces have to be correct for it to even be considered for the, for the critique. And I'm going to introduce Dan Hankey. He's going to be helping us this morning.
Sure.
We have Bruce Lindsay from Cleveland.
Good morning.
Thank you, Bruce. And then we have Don Spence from the Sandbar chapter. Thank you, Don. So basically, you would use the same methods that you would use normally if you're looking at a motorcycle, and we're going to help a lot of the people that visit really want to know how authentic some of the pieces are, and this will give an idea of what to look for. And since this is a popular model, knuckleheads are pretty popular with the collectors. So we'll start with this.
Yeah, this particular year, 1942, is quite controversial in the motorcycle circuit around where Bruce and I have been and working and such over the years. Most American public consider it the beginning of World War II, when really these machines were out in the fall of 41. As many are aware, war doesn't really start till December 7th of 41. So these machines, people were already riding these in October, November, early December of 41 season and such. So it's something where a lot of folks are of the belief, well, none of this existed. Yes, it did. And these were quite a fancy machine. This would be pretty much state-of-the-art overhead valve. Pretty much the L-head design or flathead design was still a standard in the automotive industry as far as automobile, truck, commercial and such. So this was quite an engine for a two-cylinder motorcycle. Made quite a little power. In this case, this is Bruce just checked, this is a 61 cubic inch, it's 1,000 cc's. Made quite a little horsepower, probably around 40 horse. 38 to 40 horsepower, and a little tweaking could even do a little better. What we're about to do, we're going to critique this for its authenticity for the museum, as Ted mentioned earlier. Bruce, would you like to begin a little process and such?
Yeah, we're going to check this for originality. We're going to judge it as to how it left the factory, how it would have left the factory. So I think we'd start. We usually start by checking the serial number, make sure that it's proper number. 42 EL 247. No, 42, EL 1247.
Okay.
So it is a 1942, it is a 61 cubic inch, so it's the right year.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll start looking and see if everything else matches up.
Yes, we're going to start with the frame. It would be frame rear suspension.
We've got the sweated sidecar loops here in the front, which is correct.
Got the ground wire tab on it.
Wire tab.
Got the enclosed
And
brake
anchor.
anchor.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
Good there. Good there.
We've got a 28-degree steering head. This started the year before.
Yep. Okay.
A nice wide
Okay.
casting and such.
Line casting there.
So that is correct.
That is that's 42. So find no faults with the frame itself.
Okay, front fork.
Okay, I'm going to straighten this a little, guys. This is the correct fork as far as your upper spring perch.
Okay. Here's an inline springer.
Yep.
Does
It's
have-
sweated,
Sweated up upper
not
perch.
welded.
Okay, you got the bosses for the grease fittings. No? No bosses for the grease fittings.
Now,
Now is that right?
yes.
I think that is right. Yeah, that
That
one's
is
a little
correct.
more.
This
Yeah.
is the 247th machine off. What is it?
Yeah, this-
10.
1, 2. This is 200.
1247.
It's a very early
This is-
42.
This is an early 42. That would be correct. They're using up that stock, and by the late 42 season, they'd have the pedestal.
Actually
Exactly.
put the boss on them. The military ones had the boss on.
We've got the sweated spring perch, no welding, no electric welding.
Want to do the ride control in the
Yep.
fork group?
Yes.
Yeah, there are a few problems there. Got the wrong nuts, wrong finish,
Yeah.
wrong finish, wrong finish. And the cross shaft, the cups, and the mounting nuts all have the wrong finish on the ride control.
Yes, that'd be cadmium plated, right?
Yep,
And
should be CAD.
this is touched up old black
Train's
paint.
not, yeah, this is an older restoration, which
Right.
But, yeah, but why don't you note the finishes on the ride control? We'll come back to that.
We're going to rear fender.
Okay, we're good here with the brace. We've got a narrow brace.
Should have the tail light's a separate thing, but let's
Yep.
do the fender. I don't like the bolts there.
This would be a painted carriage bolt to match the fender.
Right, that's
It was
incorrect
all
bolt on
painted
both sides.
From Harley Davidson on the rack. It was painted together with the lock washer and all.
Yeah, the bolt was painted
This
with
is
the fender,
not,
that's
right.
correct. It's missing a screw for the insert here.
For the removable panel, right.
Yeah, fender insert's missing a screw, so we got hardware issues on the rear fender. Here's the right fender. It does have the right toolbox mount. Back there with the spool, that's right.
Are we going to address hardware as a separate issue, or should we?
Yes, no, hardware will
We'll
be,
do overall hardware
Overall,
later,
okay.
but I think we should note on the fender that missing screw and incorrect bolts on that rear fender.
Yeah.
next gotta be the front wheel.
Got the black rim, non-safety bead rim, which is correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a straight-sided rim.
The wheel is laced correctly, or outside spoke goes to the rear,
Yeah,
and the inside is to the front.
black painted hub, parkerized cover, CAD plated spokes, correct Harley spoke nipples.
They look good. Now, how is it laced, Bruce?
The valve stem's on the wrong
On
side.
the wrong side, yep.
Okay, big problem.
Big problem.
Front rim's on upside down.
Upside down.
Valve stem always goes away from the brake drum on these.
Rear wheel.
Yeah, let's see if we made the
Back
same
wheel.
mistake on both ends. Okay, again, it's the correct rim, correct spokes,
It's laced proper,
and this one
As
has
far
the
as
rim on right
pattern.
side up.
and valve stem is over here.
It's got the right rim.
I can't really
Right
see in this light, I believe they're the correct hubs. That would still be that roll swedge
Yeah,
hub with the
right.
isolated
Roll-
grease fitting,
right.
yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
Rear wheel looks great.
All right, next you have handlebars, grips, controls, and levers.
Got speedster bars in line.
And they are sweated at the joints,
It's a sweated joint.
still in process.
Original grip falling off.
Yep.
It's at least an original grip.
And these
Okay.
grips, I believe, am I correct, Bruce, these are introduced in 42, the black rubber. Doesn't that come in around there? or is
Yeah,
it-
42,
yeah.
41 had white still.
Yep.
Okay, speedster bars sweated. Short horn button.
Mm-hmm.
Missing one screw out of the dimmer switch.
Yeah, that's
Dimmer
flipping
switch
around.
is falling
Yep.
off. So you gotta note
You
that.
get the correct stainless panel here, that is correct.
Yeah, the bars are nice.
They are nice. Tough bar to find, a
Yeah.
sweated speedster,
Sweated
tough to
speedster, yeah.
find,
Okay.
rather than electric welded.
Just
Yep.
missing a screw out of the dimmer switches.
Okay.
Biggest-
Did you check the levers?
That separate one? Yeah, we got a Phillips screw in this one and a Philister there, so we got
Now,
a hardware issue there.
there's an odd combination here. This is correct, this is 41 and 2, the
Right, without the
mounting
slot.
bracket without the slot.
But it should have the
But-
hole there.
Yep, but this lever is actually a 49 and later. It has the wide slot for the Hydroglide
Right.
thick cable.
Should have
Yep.
thin slat and the bore across it, yeah. And it's got one Phillips screw holding on, which is of course incorrect.
Engine.
42 EL, let's see what we got here. We got a wrong chain oiler screw, wrong oil pressure switch,
Yep,
with the right oil pump.
right. That, being this is number 250 off the line, it's still quite early. It could get by with that. It could. We could note that, like Bruce said, note it, but
But it's got the wrong screw, of course.
the screw is totally wrong.
Yeah, and the oil pressure switch is wrong.
Right, that's like off a 52K.
Right. Yeah, let's see how everything else looks on the motor.
And
Got the right rocker boxes, front and rear, yep.
tappet block, someone's painted them black. They would have been the silver
Would've been
heat.
Yep,
Yep.
not gonna fly.
No.
Check that out, Dan.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We're not going for that.
No, that's a 78 and later.
Right. Okay, cylinder base nut, incorrect.
We've got the banjo oil line, that's correct in 42
Yeah.
yet.
Yep. Original banjo line.
Then they go to compression
Yep.
during the
Other
war.
fittings after that, yep. Got little dome bolts in there, that's correct.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, just,
Nice old engine.
yep,
Rocker boxes are correct.
yep, they are the right
You
rocker
don't have
boxes.
something, later replacement
Got
or
the wide
something.
one, got
Yep,
contoured bottoms, that's correct.
contoured bottoms. Nuts on the knuckles are the authentic thin nut.
They're real-
Quite rare,
Yeah, real thing.
tough to find.
Nice.
Looks good, Don.
The transmission, kickstart, and pedal.
Cover.
Cover looks good.
Right screws,
Case looks
right
good.
vent, right spring. Right jack screw. Right.
The arm is installed correctly, Bruce, on this side for the shift gate. That is correct. Be facing up.
Got castellated nuts with the cotter pins in on the front. That's
Looks
right.
good.
That looks good.
Somebody's painted that mounting plate. That's a no-no. That would have been Parkerized.
Except for the repro kicker pedal, it's
Yeah.
it's a
Very
pretty good
good.
repro kicker pedal. So trans looks pretty good.
Carburetor intake and air cleaner.
What, M35 on this guy?
This would be an M35, 42. Paint is missing on it. It would have been a still silver paint finish. Intake is pretty nice here, Bruce. The nuts have been
A little chiseled on the
chiseled
nuts,
a little
but
bit.
The real thing, though.
but they're real.
Yeah, we like real.
Yep.
But it's actually the correct carburetor. You got a genuine air
And
cleaner cover.
both low speed and high speed needles are correct with the large dial.
Yep. I think that's pretty right carburetor.
That
It
looks
looks
good.
good.
Choke lever is all proper.
Yeah, the linkage is right on this side.
And it has the little tang to hold the spark plug wire.
It has the correct hardware.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exhaust system.
Missing the front clamps completely. Missing a bolt out of there. Missing that clamp.
Missing the center clamp altogether.
And the tail fin's been whacked
Yep,
off a little bit.
Quite a bit here and sawed on and so on and so forth.
Yeah. You're missing two of the three clamps are or three of the
Exactly.
four clamps are missing.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 are missing, yeah.
Okay.
And the bolt's missing to hold the S pipe.
The squash pipe and the switch isn't
brake
even
plate
there.
switch
right?
isn't even there.
Isn't even there.
Right.
With the spacer
The whole
gone.
thing's going, so we'll get that under brakes, but it's a lot of problems on the exhaust system.
And what was up with the muffler?
The tail end's been
Sawed
sawed
off
off.
the tail and that.
Okay, 12 would be lights, wire, and electrical starter motor.
No starter motor, but we should look at the lights.
Wires are pretty tough out there by the cutout relay.
Yeah, we got duct
Yep.
tape around them here, which doesn't look too good. It's original wiring, but condition on wiring mainly.
Right, these wires would have been a mild braid running along the channel of the relay, coming up and swinging in the respective
They come up
positions.
under and
Yep.
come off. Yep.
Yes,
Loop around
these
like a
are just
butterfly.
hanging like spaghetti. Right,
Yep. And those are hanging like spaghetti with duct tape on
Exactly.
them. That's
exactly.
certainly not how it came. Up front here, the wiring.
And that's usually a tough area by the spotlights
yeah,
and horn.
patch job up here. It's,
Yeah, that's a tough piece, that Bakelite bow
big one,
tie.
But, but the wiring, yeah, there's some wiring issues.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got, coming out of the handlebar here is tough, Don. He's got some rubber conduit
Yeah.
and a little bit of asphalt hanging. The asphalt conduit would have gone up about 3/4 of an inch into the handlebar. And it swung into a piece here.
It's got wiring issues. but
Also missing altogether, in 1938, they came out with
The
a
clip?
Parkerized clip, and eventually they became cadmium plated to
Yeah.
support that. That's
Yep.
not even there, right, Bruce?
well, clip is, yeah, it's there.
Is it there, but it's not being used?
Remains
There
of it
is.
are there.
Yep, remains
It's
of
on
it.
backwards and
Little
it's twisted.
twisted and-
But it's there.
Oil tank, oil lines.
I don't like those oil lines
I
at
don't
all.
like those oil-
Yeah, that
The oil
return
lines
is
are terrible.
terrible.
Yeah, the oil lines are
This would be your return.
homemade, crooked, hammered
Yeah.
up. They're just completely wrong. The oil tank looks pretty good.
Tank looks pretty good. Let's look at this bracket here. Looks okay, Don. Pretty good.
Oil tank looks good. The lines look terrible.
Yeah, decal is gone. One thing I will say, someone's painted the dipstick. That was
Yeah.
not painted in 1942.
Floorboards, foot pegs.
But nice footboards.
Footboards look beautiful. It's the mounting hardware is all wrong.
All wrong on the hardware.
Missing the spacers here, Don.
Missing
by
the
the-
nut on here.
Yep. We've got flex lock
Yeah.
nuts as such. Yeah,
Yeah.
modern.
Real hardware problems.
Yep.
Yeah, the spring, the bracket, nothing's there.
Okay, and the rivets on the floorboards, are they correct?
Yeah.
These are
This
here.
side it is.
Okay. Chain guard, primary cover, final drive.
Okay. Rear chain guard has a 1/4 inch hole drilled right through this.
Got some
Actually,
condition problems.
double pieces here. Cushion springs are missing on the primary fasteners, Don. They're not, again, they're missing.
There's no drain pipe on the inner primary either.
Right. Good eye, Bruce. It's gone.
Yeah.
Seats and springs.
Later
51 and later seat.
seat. Right.
It's
Yeah, it's
closed.
got the CAD hardware. It's an
And it's
old
been
seam and
somewhat repaired.
it's a little bit later seat. It's
CAD plated spacers, Don, that someone's painted black over the top of the CAD.
it's all just a later seat. Yeah.
Right. And there's bolts. These should have been 5/16 studs.
Studs and nuts and not bolts. It's
Right.
That was Harley's later replacement seat.
post is a later post. You've got the small eyelet pin
The small pin.
that came out in the 1970s. That's a replacement post top anyway.
So it's the replacement post and seat both
Right.
later.
Okay. Brakes and clutch, including pedals, cables, and rods.
Okay, we got the brake lever already, right?
Right.
We
Right.
got that on handlebars.
We've got a vinyl coated cable here.
Okay, you got a
Plastic,
replacement
excuse me.
cable.
Not, right.
Missing a cotter pin on there. That's not real safe.
Nope.
Got the washer on the wrong side of the arm there. But it is the right brake. It is the right backing plate.
Okay, now there would also be another support bracket here,
It should be on the
Don.
cable
Yes.
support. Yeah.
That-
Is
It's
that
gone.
cast drum or stamp drum? in
This would
42?
be a cast drum.
It's
Yep.
got stamp drum on it.
Yep. In 1940, they introduced a cast
Right,
drum.
40 was the first oddball cast drum, so it's got the wrong brake drum on it.
And backing plate is the correct backing plate. It does have the convex nut.
Yeah, got the tooth washer, got that.
On the
That's all
pivot
pretty
bolt.
Right.
Looks good there, Don.
The back brake looks pretty good.
Are you ready to move over to the clutch pedal?
Put the clutch and brake in that
Clutch and
category.
brake, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
The
the
pedals, of course, are incorrect.
Yeah.
They're a reproduction.
Well, the pads.
And the
pedal is-
pedal itself is correct.
It
It's
is the right
no
pedal.
dog leg.
Yeah. Got the skinny rod, that's correct.
That's a tough pedal to find, by the way.
Tough rod to find.
This spring is a little later. This has a double swivel.
Right.
This would have a single wind at this point and a swivel only down at the toe
Single
end.
swivel, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Other than that,
pretty trivial.
some tough pieces.
That's pretty nice on the clutch pedal, actually.
Tough to find them like that, Don, without the dog leg.
Stands. Kickstand and rear stand.
Yeah, I got a nylock nut on the stand, got a
Yeah,
chrome spring
chrome.
on the stand. I don't like either of those. Condition is well used,
Well used
but
and heavily pitted.
yeah, the spring and the nut are
Right.
wrong. How's it rear stands? I got the right hardware on it, right clip.
We're pretty good here.
Instruments including speedo.
It is all correct as far as the speedo goes.
Great
It's
speed.
missing the removable panel and screws
Got
on the
after-
sides of the dash.
got a lot of stupid switch covers on,
Right.
missing both of the inserts. But it is the
Exactly.
right dash with the V stamped in it.
The screws are missing altogether.
Right, all the mounting, all three of them.
The knob is missing, the correct knob.
Lots of issues here. Those I don't think, well, the dash wasn't chrome plated originally.
There was an option, 41 and 2, to do that, yeah. And it is the correct piece, by
It
the way.
is the right one with the
It
V.
has the
in it.
stamped V, yeah.
that
The
is
last
correct.
year for that.
Yep, missing the knob, the wrong cover, no screws, no inserts.
Generator, horn, magneto, ignition system, spark plugs.
Is that aluminum tag? That would be incorrect.
Yeah, that's a brass
Tough
tag.
to
I
see.
think.
It's brass,
I
yeah.
think it's brass. I think it's right. You got filter head screws without lock washers.
That's good.
That's good.
Cover looks pretty good on it.
Cover looks good.
Horn is correct. This is the first year for the strap
Yeah,
torn.
Right, wrong bolts on top.
And,
Shouldn't have the
right,
shoulder bolts
heavy
on top.
bolts.
Yeah, wrong bolts on top.
Incorrect bolt screws here as well.
Right, that should be round head.
Strap has been broken and welded up.
Yeah, a bit of repair on the horn and
piece, yeah.
wrong mounting hardware, but it is the
Yeah.
right horn. Yeah.
Your front spark plug wire would come underneath the Y part of the frame here and
Go into the
over,
little hook tab. Got
go into the
tab
hook,
there.
hook
And come
tab,
down from the top, yeah.
come down into the front plug.
So incorrect wires. Spark plugs are just late model plugs, but spark plugs, tires, and batteries, you always gotta
Yeah.
give them whatever you can run with.
Battery box, toolbox, side panels, fairing. No
Okay.
fairing.
We sure don't like the nuts on the battery.
We've got
box.
flex locks.
Wrong nuts on
Should
the
be a
battery
nice
cover.
wing nut. Battery cover looks excellent. Original Harley.
The toolbox, the right lock in it, got the third mount under it. Now, toolbox looks original, just the hardware and the battery lid's the biggest fault in that category.
Gas tank, lines, and valves.
Caps are later reproduction.
Yeah,
This would be the tall cap. The bottom would rest just about against the paint. Got a slight dent here, Don.
wrinkle
Not
in the-
much.
Wrinkle in the
Not
name
bad.
badge there.
Yeah.
That shift bracket from the front, that's been hit.
Oh boy, I guess it has. Yeah. Somebody's laid that down.
Tank shift pivot's been smashed
Right,
in.
You've got quite a axis right here.
Yeah.
This is loaded, in fact, see it?
Yeah.
She's starting to fold up underneath the gas seat, shut-off seat. In fact, the
been an
line's been
accident.
disconnected.
Yeah, they
And that might have been
bring
from
it in, I
storage,
think, yeah.
right?
But
That's had quite a shot.
yeah, but
These are carbon steel, by the way, too. They're,
Well,
right, Bruce?
they're
There's
spring
something to try to
we don't
work.
straighten those, but
Kind of like trying
the
to
pivot brackets
bend a carving
badly
knife.
bent.
Yeah.
The right valves, right filter, right line.
It's the first year that filter is reintroduced.
Yeah,
It goes away for a couple of years.
Yeah, 39 to 41, it went away.
And it's
Came
back
right
again in 42.
The right crossover with the loop-de-loop in it, that's all good.
Nuts, bolts, mounting hardware.
Okay, we got a lot of hardware
Where do
issues.
you want to start?
Start from the front, tire, and then work back.
I'll just leave that category until we come back and do points, and we'll...
Yeah. Plating and bright work.
Taillight's been plated, and the dash has been plated.
Right. Horn face,
Face plated, the spirals are plated. Very little plating on these.
not much. And it's aged, Don.
And it's-
Yeah,
it's
this is a
about-
ridden motorcycle.
Okay, paint work.
I like the color.
That is
Don't you
Skyway
boost
blue.
it.
That's Skyway blue. I love Skyway blue.
Yeah, well done. Tough color to match.
It's been repainted. It's the right color and got a little wear and tear on it. Okay, want to go through and get together and do some point evaluations on,
Okay.
on the faults we found?
All right.
I guess it's about 80. About 80
80
points.
points.
About an 80-point bike, and that's about what we guessed when we started. That
Guess-
it'd be high 70s or about 80 points. So
Yep.
guess pretty close. This just verifies it.
Okay, on a final conclusion with this machine, overall, I love the integrity of it. As I mentioned earlier, not to sound redundant, but the foundation for this, if someone wanted to do a Conqueror's restoration, is there. It's just excellent.
I like this bike. It's ridden daily. The guy's not afraid to leave it out in the rain. I like to see something basically in this condition then restored. I like stuff that has wear on it and in this condition. It's a beautiful bike. Like you said, it's a nice foundation. It's a very good piece.
Okay, yeah, I agree with Dan and Don that the core bike is really good. I like to see a bike that's ridden also, and this one is ridden. And little detail work, you could have a real nice motorcycle out of it. Just needs a good motorcycle mechanic to go front and back over it, and you'd have a nice bike when you're done.
Be a nice candidate if you could find a new old stock like a military wire harness and add to it a little age.
You know, thanks for coming down or coming over. There's a lot of, I think all the detail that, you know, people don't realize every screw. And as I'm standing watching, I'm saying, wait a minute, I'm making notes to try to see like that clutch spring. But
Yeah.
I don't know how many parts are on a motorcycle, but you've went over probably about 80% of them visually.
Hundreds. Yeah.
So, but I think that would help people, you know, learn about the motorcycles and how they go about it, because the procedure is basically the same
Yes, it is.
for any motorcycle. There's probably more knowledge on Harleys just because there's more enthusiasts involved. But I think, you know, between the Hondas, other motorcycles are coming of the age where they're going to be judged down the road, you know, like a 1970 Honda, as a 1976 is already considered an antique.
An
So,
antique.
I hope everyone enjoyed our video presentation of an evaluation of a motorcycle at the museum. Looking at the motorcycles is one thing, but people should actually know how they're viewed historically to be accurate for that year. So a lot of detail goes into each year. Even 1 year differences, some big changes. But thank you, and we hope to bring more of these events to you in the future.